All right, calling meeting order. Now it's on. Okay, now the internet can hear me. Okay. All right, we're bringing the Seaside Art and History Committee meeting to order for today, October 11th, 2022. All right. So let's do a roll call and make sure we have a quorum. I'll go left to right. My left. Commissioner Avery, Francois Avery. Here. Commissioner Janie Silveira. All right. Commissioner Emerson Brown is here. And Commissioner Madison Parker here. All right. So we have a quorum. What do I need to do? Do I need to run that by you or anything? All right. All right. Got a quorum. Okay. Let's take a minute to review the agenda. That was fine to me. Anybody want to add anything? All right. Keon, do we have any public comments? Yeah.
Item 4 right now.
Yeah, I think so. So we need to wait 3 minutes for the internet.
There's no one on Zoom,
Okay.
but we can't open public comment here in person. So anyone here public comments, they're welcome to join, come to the podium.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We assume.
All right, we're good here and nothing on Zoom.
Great, thank you, Keon. All right, let's move to item 5, since there's no public comments, approval of the minutes. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to review. It looked okay to me. I reviewed them at home. All right. All right. Okay,
I can motion to approve minutes.
yeah, Jane, you see anything? Are you still looking? No, go ahead, please.
All right.
Yeah. Great, can we have staff?
What was the sign? OR?
Yeah, if y'all could check and confirm. And fix the record, that'd be awesome. Anything else? You know, I depend on you for this, so yeah. You see anything? Good. Did you see anything, Francois? You good? All right. We have one motion to approve. Can I get a second? All right, let's do a roll call. Commissioner Avery.
Aye.
Hi. Aye.
Parker, I.
All right, unanimous. So minutes are approved. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to business items. Item 6. All right. So our first item today is to discuss the mural projects, collaboration with the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. Staff, I believe we have some members from that committee here. All right. So how do we get this discussion started?
This item was brought by Commissioner Avery.
Okay,
We want to start off this discussion as far as collaborating with NIC.
Yes, Jane and I were Avery, and we were discussing Mr. Miller, and then possibly doing more collaborations. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this now, but anyway, yeah, we were discussing on future projects with the Neighborhood Improvement Commission to possible murals or so. And then they also have something with the bridge.
Yep. I remember
San
that
Pablo Bridge.
from last meeting. That was part of the public.
Yeah.
comment, Yeah.
This is.
Yeah. That's a firehouse. Yeah.
Oh, for well, this is probably more asking the fire department, because I noticed that there's 2 trees that were planted. I believe, is this where the mural is gonna go over this entire wall, correct?
The trees have been there, though. They've just been cutting them back. I walk by a lot.
Oh,
A lot of sometimes it's, they're just sticks, and then other times, depending on the, like, when they're in bloom, they have a little bit, but yeah, they are there.
And it's slated to be 35 feet long, and that whole wall is way longer than 35 feet. So I suppose if they wanted to, they could, sort of put the trees in as a mural.
I think it's the one larger.
yeah, the second story above the garage. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, well, my suggestion too was to have it up there, but
Oh,
I was thinking that they were gonna just redo this entire wall, was my thinking. But I mean, if both can be done, then, that would be great too, though.
Might have to, we do both, might have to circle back, but we can't vote on anything tonight.
No.
Yeah, well, no, it's just, just concerns. And then, do you know what type of trees, are these sycamore trees? Do you know?
I should know, but I would have to take a look at them. It might be,
'Cause I think it's the
they
same
have
one,
the right leaf pattern.
because I don't know if it's the same one as these here that are in the median.
Yeah, I think they're either sycamore or a London planer, but I'm not positive.
Because my concern was they're kind of built close to that wall. And I forgot to bring an article. There's an article of a neighborhood in Seaside where the sycamore trees are actually ruining the sidewalks and all
And
that.
sycamore, both sycamores and London planers can get quite large, so that is a good quality concern to have.
Okay, yeah, because it is somewhat close to the wall there, but that was just the concern for that there.
We want to bring in. Yes. NIC collaboration.
Yes,
Yeah, please. And this is separate from the fire mural, right? This
Yes.
is- Yeah.
We only have 2 items, so Nero, we can. put that on the agenda as far as, we'll discuss as far as. Project.
Yeah. I want to wait for them. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Alex Miller, Neighborhood Improvement Commission, been on the commission for 7 years. I've been chairman for a while. I'm with my dear friend Ramona, who has been there longer than I, so I brought her for some support. Basically, the NIC went to the city council and asked for TOT funds from the Airbnb when Seaside regulated Airbnbs. And there's currently like 80 something licensed Airbnbs in the city that provide that tax every month to the city. And half of the tax goes to the Neighborhood Improvement Commission and the other half of the tax goes to housing. Now, the housing side hasn't really been used yet, but the neighborhood improvement money has been used. And many concerns on the dais at the city council level have determined that our budget is too high, right? Last fiscal year was like 185,000 for one commission, while the other commissions have such little, such as you. So what the NIC is saying and will continue to say is that we want to work with every commission every time on every project, right? So that's the goal, right? And the more that we have the commissions involved, the more likely these projects will work. Because we have more people involved and when the city council and the city staff see that we're all involved, then they're going to be more likely to participate as well. So I have a couple of projects that we want to talk with you about. And of course, the first is the murals. And I know the discussion is around the fire department, but I wanted to bring to your attention that we allocated $35,000. That's 35,000 for murals in the city. We've seen Sand City place murals all around. We see other cities doing nice things with murals, boxes on utilities, such forth. So we allocated 35,000, but out of that 35,000, we gave 25,000 to the fire department, up to, right? We're hoping that's going to cost less, probably, we know the government, the money is more expensive, but if we can make it less than 25, we'll have more remaining. So the remaining balance is $10,000. We don't know where to put a mural. We have no idea. And our commission has talked about it and we don't know where the spot is. So we come to you today with some suggestions of ideas on that remaining 10,000. So we have $10,000 already approved by the city council, already ready for allocation for a mural in the city of Seaside. And we want to see that happen sooner than later, and especially because our funds don't roll over. So when we don't do anything in June, and we were pleasantly surprised by that, when we lost a lot of money and it went back to the general fund at the tune of 80,000, right? We lost like 80,000 because we didn't get our act together because it was such a short period of time and it took a long time for the process to play out. So it's October. We have, time travels fast. So we have up until like June to come up with a decision on this. So can we work together, figure out a place that we can put it, and then figure out if we're going to go to bid or if we know a local artist, because it's under 25,000, it's only 10,000. It might not have to go out to a bid. I'm not saying it doesn't have to, but I'm saying it might not have to. It might not have to go to the highest bidder. It could just be assigned to somebody because it's only $10,000. So that's the first project. And the second project is the bridge. And so the bridge is something that I've been working on for a couple of years. And when I drive up and down the bridge, I noticed it hasn't been painted. And we just want to repaint it. That was the first. And all of our projects start off as repainting and then turn into something else, right? Turn into something better, or a mural or something. So we went to the city council, said we're going to use 40,000 of our funds. We're going to paint it. And they said, the city council and the city staff and the attorney said, well, we need to make sure that it's structurally, it has the structure. So we don't want to put a mural on there and then we have to tear it down or it falls down or blah, blah, blah. So we said, okay. Went back to city council, recommended a certain fund for analysis of the structural integrity of it. And the city council said, don't worry about your budget. We will pay for it. So they were using the general fund. It's currently under review. They hired two firms. Do you remember the firms' names? There's one firm's out of Oakland and one firm's in Salinas, two structural engineer firms so they can bounce ideas off each other. But what we want to do is we want to put a mural. And the idea is when you're driving down and you look at the ocean, it would be cool to have an ocean theme. So it kind of blends in a little bit, right? It looks like, oh, okay, the Monterey Bay, because if you're driving down San Pablo, that's a nice view of the ocean. So a view of the ocean on the bridge going down, but then coming up, having some Seaside logos, like the old the logo of the city, the crest, the old Seaside library, the old Seaside music, things that were historical in Seaside. And I'm drawing a blank on what those were right now, but those were the two concepts. And I think that if we can work together on those and you guys are like, okay, well, with the fine-tuned details, say, oh, we like this, we like that. then we have both of our buy-ins, then the city council is likely to say, okay, let's do it. But we can't do anything on the bridge until we hear about the structural, but we do have the 10,000 and we can do that now. So I hope that wasn't too long-winded. I tried to explain it the best I could, but that's basically where we're at. And then also, please, for next fiscal year, let's get you into our budget for something like for 23, 24, because all these are projections. So we can spend our projection at the very beginning of the fiscal year. So they projected 22, 23 funds, but for 23, 24, we have, if you guys have a big project that you want to do, that could come from NIC funds. And I know that NIC members are really, really excited to work with the arts and history. So I'll bring up Ramona and she can say any final words. And if you have any questions, we can both kind of tackle it.
No, Ramon. Thank
Come on.
you. Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, so.
You sure, Ramon?
You can say anything or?
Well, I just say we have that extra 40 grand too, because we didn't pay for the structure, the city is.
Right.
So
Ah.
there's an extra 40,000.
Yeah, so that's fortuitous. We have some ideas too. You may be moving quicker than we are. I've been talking with staff about trying, me personally, I've been talking to staff about trying to, one, facilitate an inventory of walls to get the city to pay for that. And then two, an RFP process for those walls. But this is an excellent start and a really good reason to get that done sooner rather than later. So thank you.
Well, and I think a request for that's an excellent idea. I think the request for that would have to start with how much that and the anticipated cost is.
Yeah.
So then NIC can make a motion and move forward with recommending that money come to you. And once the money's out of the way, then you guys can deal with the semantics of it and the small details of it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Anybody wanna say anything?
Just appreciate, yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a cool collaboration.
Yes. And we've been working a lot with the Parks and Rec, more so than you guys, because the parks just are more expensive and the equipment requires a big. And so what we've been doing a lot is putting in 40 for here and then somebody else matches us 40, like the city or whatever. We paid for the NIC. When I say I meant the NIC's fund paid for some equipment at Laguna Grande and small things that we can do. So.
Well, can you do big projects like we've been looking for a home for our archives for
Right.
years?
Yes. Yeah, and that absolutely is it's possible. I mean, depending on if there is a city building that you guys had in mind, or to buy property and to erect a
Wow.
building is significant. That might be more political on the city council. But if you had something in mind that we could.
Do you want to just share with us real quick where you are with the planner, what came out of that meeting? Just so he has an idea of, you know what I mean?
Oh, well,
Or do I need
the
to?
meeting with the city manager was to bring him up to speed on what we've been doing and looking at. And Francois and I made a presentation to the city council a couple months ago about the sad state of the archives and what we recommend. And we recommended, well, there are several options: putting a modular building or renting a space that's already existing. What was the other? Collaborating with an existing archive like as at the Chamberlain Library and moving in with them kind of.
Mhm.
But I don't know, and he knows someone from his past work at Santa Paula who runs museums and does fundraising and all this. And so he was going to arrange with her to come in and give an analysis of the collection and what we need and make recommendations. But does anybody have any update on that?
It's in progress. So just want to share that with
In
you,
progress.
because basically the ultimate goal of that is is to create a more accessible resource for the community. So that's where it will come in. Right now, you can't really get to them. There's no way to access the archive. So maybe a long-term project, but just.
Sure. If that's the complete direction of this commission, or, that I completely agree with, I think that's a wonderful idea. I would maybe suggest like making a motion and recommending to the NIC to work on a collaboration together, or at this time, even recommending funds, like saying, hey, we want 5,000 to do a count on this, and then it comes to us. It's possible NIC might say yes, probably, they might say no, I don't know. But if you want to start that, if that's the direction that you guys are going, and that's the big project that you really want to do, then, just getting us on board and coming up, making a motion in a second, and then having a direction for staff to contact NIC, and then we agree to work together, then that's how I see as the first step in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
And also you said that the city regulated Airbnbs, they don't do that anymore?
The city absolutely does regulate the Airbnbs. They collect the TOT tax every month. They put a moratorium on the number of
Oh,
allowed licenses. In the last council meeting I went to a couple months ago, they bumped that up to, I believe, 90.
hmm. Okay.
And they anticipate about 30 to 40 are illegal in the city and don't pay tax. Yes, but that number might be down. I don't know. That's outdated data. I know code, they have an enforcement program. They might be regulating that more, but I know that certain people are capped out, and there's two types of Airbnbs. There's ones that are hosted, where the person lives there and rents a room to the person.
Right.
And there is house Airbnbs where you rent the whole house for a night or for of course, if anything above 30 days is not included in this because it's not a short-term rental. So.
Thank you.
Sure. Anything else? I'll be right here. Wait, answer any
I
questions.
do have a couple questions. if I
Yeah,
can.
of course.
Thank
Yes,
you
please.
for
Yes.
your assistance.
Sure.
As far as, kind of getting a direction of where this is going to go. In the same way that we're doing the fire station mural, we're collaborating with fire station, or something like another mural, or doing the bridge. We work in tandem with the NIC, correct?
Yes.
Would you want any of the commissioners to attend the next NIC meeting as far as ideas or anything from the commission to come to you guys?
Well, we have a special meeting coming up, I think on the 18th. So that's a little bit too soon to get anything on the agenda, I believe, because it's next week, and I'm not going to push it for that because that kind of causes problems when it's that fast. It's possible we meet the first Tuesday of every month. So our next meeting in November, I think that maybe we can get on there if depending on if this group wants to move forward with this, then I think they could possibly get something on November, given the direction of this. But yeah, if the motion in the second is to work with NIC, and to, whatever for the 10,000, then having somebody would really help us out, and also having some locations or even painting the boxes, the utility boxes. I know you guys talked about that.
We talked about that. So,
Yeah.
you want to
We
elaborate?
we have been-
Go ahead.
we had Stephen Russell. That was on the commission and was trying to do something and was getting nowhere. And, we're going to all these other cities where you have all the boxes painted. And then supposedly they're telling us that we can't do it, or for whatever reason.
We had staff reach out to utility companies,
Mhm.
and the utility companies basically said no to the
Yeah, I
staff.
believe, they don't.
They
allow
did. So what they said is, for the AT&T boxes, they said, oh, we put a special coating on our boxes for like UV purposes or some kind of purpose. So we can't paint over them. And then when they reached out for the other utility boxes, I believe they hit a dead end. If you could check with Ashley.
Yeah, this preceded me, but I can ask that.
Yeah, it preceded you.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that, and we would 100% have allocated funds to do that, but the utilities basically roadblocked us.
That's interesting.
My words. Because we said all these other cities, did, so that's what they relayed to staff.
I mean, even I went to the city of San Jose last month or something, and even the city, they're wrapping, they do those wraps around their boxes. and they have a sign that says that it's maintained by the city of San Jose.
Uh-huh.
So, and I know they don't own all those boxes.
Right.
So it's kind of like, we kind of feel that we're getting the runaround here. Whereas other jurisdictions can just pretty much get something approved.
Yeah, not staff's fault, so.
Well, I find that very interesting because my daughter and I went to Panda Express the other night and the box on the corner right there has graffiti on it. So if they think that they can keep graffiti
Yeah,
on their boxes, but not allow us to paint the boxes, they're sadly mistaken.
yeah, so we can ask again. I just know that staff has had
Okay.
conversations.
Well, I understand. I was just wanting to make a suggestion, but the 10,000 can be used for murals
Excellent.
anywhere in the city, if it, with or without utility boxes, anywhere else, and then the 25,000 for the fire department, and hopefully there's some left. And then there's also
Yeah.
the 40,000 we talked about, but I'm not sure about that.
So if I'm hearing you correct, I just want to parse before we make decisions.
Yes.
We're supposed to. So what I'm hearing you say is you have a location. Or no, you have 10 grand. But you just really want help finding a place to put it and then getting an artist to.
We want you guys to do the work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're happy to do that.
I thought you would be.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you, I
yeah,
didn't think
yeah.
it was gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah, it's not a hard sell. And then we'll see, based on when we get to the RFP, we know we have that money, and then whatever's left over, we can allocate, great. And then long term, just so you know, we are in the process of figuring out how to go to council, get an inventory to make that easier when you do have the money, and
Right.
And getting artists to line up.
And in the future, I will 100% support that. I'll be
Great.
one vote on the council that will vote for you guys.
Great.
Okay, anybody, anything else? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Everyone
you.
good? Thank you so much. All right, so I guess we need to. Do we need to make a motion based on that? I didn't think so. It's just informational. Yeah. So I think what we need to do is. Alex, you said your next agenda meeting would be in November. Yes, so first Tuesday, yeah. So we need to figure out if one of us wants to go to that. To sort of discuss further. All right, so what I would say is, since we're just talking, I would say if you have any ideas, if you have any intel to share with staff, and then confirm with staff if, how to get on the agenda for their November meeting to share any intelligence we have. I think that would be a good next step. And in the meantime, we'll figure out our part of it. Does that sound good? Anybody else? All right. All right, so that's very exciting. We'll move on to our next order of business, which is the work plan. Commissioner Avery, Commissioner Avery, I believe, wanted to just look at the work plan and make sure the scope of it was appropriate for the amount of people we currently have and the budget. And yes. All right. Did everybody have a chance to look at it? I reviewed it. Is everybody else familiar? Does anybody need more time? And it looks like, just to make sure, it looks like our current budget is 5,700. Is that correct? Not counting ancillary funds like we just discussed.
On page 11, in total, we have around 20. Commission activities, historical markers, installation mural, and then 1,200, yep.
Which page is
On
that?
page 11,
Oh, okay, because I was looking at the city manager art and history commission.
yeah, there's
Page
additional,
9, and
yeah,
then-
page 9 is
okay.
additional stuff on
All
page
right.
11.
Great.
Yeah.
I saw I looked at the wrong thing. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so that includes all the funds. All right, great. Okay,
And then for the actual work plans on page 14. If you want to skip past the historical stuff.
yeah. Okay. So did you want to? Since you want to review this, Commissioner Avery, do you want to kick us off? Because I have thoughts I can share in the interim, but. Okay, all right. So I put this work plan together based on the previous work plans, and what I really tried to do is be mindful of what we have been doing over the years in each of our two charges. And try and simplify it. And then really bullet out what we were doing, what we wanted to do in the next year. And so the art exhibitions, those should be happening. Sandra has had us on task for that for years. So that should be good, that first bullet. This poetry one, that was very aspirational based on the conversation we had. So we have something.
Yeah, I had going over it, I was just wondering how much we're going forward with it since the commissioner that was really spearheading it is on leave of absence.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So my thought, and since it's open for discussion, my thought is we could probably take this off and reconsider it once we tackle the other things we wanted to do. Like, for example, what we just discussed with the neighborhood improvement committee. So that's something where we can refocus. Thank you. Because these other ones are sort of already in process.
Yeah.
So that's my thought on that. And then for the history focused things, I was sort of looking to you two, because I really feel like you have a handle on that as to what might be realistic and what we're actually doing, like with the tapes, if we need to keep that on the list, or if that's just something that exists that doesn't need to be maintenance. You know, I'm not sure.
Which one?
Yeah, the digitization, like,
Yeah, the digitization is actually budgeted for, so I would like to see us move ahead with that. I know a couple of people who do it, and
great.
some of them have been digitized already. I'd be willing to, if I can find them up there. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
willing to look at what's there and what's been done and what needs to be done, and you know, come up with a list and do a lot of the legwork on that. If we actually do have the money allocated, right? Or is it for next year? See when it's.
No, we do. Since some of this preceded me, is this the one that we sent out to? Or maybe it's a different topic. What do we send out to a company to digitize, or
Newspapers,
is this the same thing or no?
different.
No,
different.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. This is why I was asking about it, because
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
yeah,
Because they still have the items, I
yeah.
believe, yeah, okay,
Unfortunately.
say it again,
uh,
okay,
So, no, the first thing under history focused projects talks about that. Those newspapers we sent out to be digitized, they're not back yet,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I
Is-
mean,
Yeah,
as
is
it
there a
was-
another staff, we were
follow-up,
talking about it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like March or April, we were supposed to be first on the list, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously you can't collaborate with these other folks who have their collections digitized if we don't have our stuff back, but I mean, they've got to get back to it sometime, don't they? What should we do?
So I sent an email out to Ashley asking for who she managed to find a hold of the contact information.
Okay.
Once I have the information, I will follow up again. Yeah. Monday or. Yeah, I know I have literally just like today.
Yeah, okay. And the second one on with collaborating with CSUMB, I was also involved with that, but I'm not sure since the pandemic if they are still doing that. And I guess I could check on that too, but I mean, so if these are specifically to be done in the next year, I'm not sure about what.
Well, until June fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah, so you
June
don't-
2023.
Yeah. So you
Okay,
have
June,
time.
so June, that was just a few months ago, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay,
There's a certain time of year though that CSUMB does this, correct? Does the oral histories?
they have a class, and the class can choose from different projects. Sandra, you remember going out there and talking to them? And sometimes it's, you know, working with farm workers, or sometimes it's the military, or sometimes, you know, it can be not the Seaside Voices. For a while, we were having trouble finding anybody new that would get recorded, but, and so then the students actually do the interviewing and make the tape and all that. So that was very nice. It was a way for us to get histories done and digitized already by someone else. But the ones we're talking about digitizing are the older tapes of people from the 50s, 60s, 70s, that many of them may have passed away, and so we would like to get their records into a digitized form.
okay.
So the last.
Just to
item,
confirm, who does the digitation of the tapes?
There's
It's-
some companies around that do it. I know that someone named Arno Featherstone who has done work for schools and other organizations, and I would highly recommend him, but we could also check with other places to see. And Nancy, who was before
I knew Nancy. Pretty cool.
before your time and before Ashley's time, Nancy got a few of them digitized at the end of when she was about to retire. She said, I'm gonna do some of these things before I leave. And so she had some of them done. I don't know who did them, so could check with her records.
And I know somebody. Who
You
has
know
the
somebody?
equipment and has done it for years and years. Had his own business, but does it out of his home. So if we don't use your person,
Okay,
that's another backup.
sure. Great. But our big one, of course, is the find a home for the archives.
Yeah, which you are working.
Yeah, sounds like we have more progress than we have in the past.
Yeah, because you're actually meeting with the city. So, okay, before we move on, I just wanna. So I think what we're saying is, so for the art focused projects, we could probably eliminate the second bullet, poetry, for this year. We could table it, just say tabled.
Didn't we give a poet laureate? Someone was designated that and given a big award last year.
Yeah, he was for Monterey County, right?
Yeah, it's for the whole county.
For the whole
No,
county.
Not for Seaside, not for the city.
He's a professor.
Yeah.
Oh, from Seaside?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got a proclamation from Gillette, is that right or different? Oh,
Council
cool.
did it, yeah.
Good. Okay.
Didn't he say he was a professor at CSUMB?
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I,
would think that would be, that is something that I was accomplished in some way.
in some ways, yeah, but we haven't we haven't made it like a thing. So when I put this into the plan, I wrote all these things that I said y'all could would might approve as aspirational, which I think is what we were like, oh, he'll come to all the gallery openings, and do a poem, you know, inspired, or we could tell the city to budget. So February, I think, is National Poetry Month. So we could recommend to the city, but all this, I don't think it's given that the champion of this is on leave, and also what has already been done for the County Poet Laureate. I think we can table this and save this for maybe when we get some of these other things squared away. Like, don't forget it entirely, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I think we all agree on
yeah,
that.
okay. So then, great. So then what I heard for the history focused projects is we can't move forward with the first bullet because we don't have the digitized items. And then we don't have the original source material back. Neither, we don't have either one of those things, right?
Oh,
So we should just note that and say that's why we can't accomplish that this time. Do you want to say something, or you just
No, I was just gonna say, we would like to have either them digitized or have them back,
one of the two? Yeah,
one of the two.
but we should note this, so when we are looking at the plan, we, you know why. And then the city knows why.
yeah.
We can't move forward on that. It's not because we're not trying.
Right.
And then the second bullet, what I'm hearing is, we just don't know what's up at CSUMB right now because the past 2.5
Yeah,
years have been strange.
Yeah, we can take that off
Okay,
for now. I mean,
so in the past, Keon, people from the council and friends would actually work with CSUMB professors and students and they would interview people in the community, right? Is that correct?
you mean a commission?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, well, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
not the council, our commission, yeah.
Yeah.
commissioners, Yeah,
And it was, a lot of it was Michael Wildgoose.
Yeah.
And we all tried to think of people who would be good
Good.
candidates to get their history on record, but it was a little more difficult the last couple of years, and then since the pandemic, I do not know what
Right.
they've been doing. I guess we could put that one on.
so, yeah, well, yeah, so we should say that's on hold until we figure out
Yeah,
what's the status of that program. Because that's just something I literally carried over. And this represents Seaside and area history groups.
I kind of do that.
Yeah.
as a General thing, but it's not exactly a formal activity that we do,
Yeah,
but it's okay to
I think it's fine.
keep it in.
Yeah,
The history, yeah. Well, it's one that Michael was on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on it now. I'm not on it, but
so,
can just leave you know.
okay, I like leaving it there. And then,
Definitely would like to move ahead with the oral history tapes.
yeah,
If we do have the money.
I think we should.
Okay,
I mean, I think we can leave that because we have the tapes. We just need to, is there a process? Do we have to go through? Does the commission have to go to council? To get the vendor? No, we're good. Okay, then we're good. All right, let's leave it then. Because we already have the tapes, we just need to get them
yeah,
digitized.
and
Okay.
I think we can do it locally rather than sending them off somewhere. We
Yeah.
never see them again. California Revealed folks. There's the Internet Archive. They have all kinds of wonderful digitized movies and audio and stuff, but
Cool.
I think if we can do it locally, we should.
All right. And then we talked about this one too. That one seems fine. The last bullet here.
The last one?
Yeah, because you and that's why I've really been making strides on.
Do we have any word from anyone on whether the archivist Gene Orchid is going to be able to?
I don't have a date, but I know it is in progress. I think it was slowed down a little bit with other things kind of popping up, but it's in the docket.
Okay,
I don't have a firm date. But has not been forgotten.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So she is coming sometime,
Yes.
but not. You don't.
I don't think
All right.
immediately. I would not say in the next month or so, but
Beginning of next year.
yeah, continue to bug me and I will bug others and see what I can do.
Okay. And then, okay, so I think that's a good accounting of the two big ones. And then so the combined sort of art and history proclamation submissions to city council. So is this something we're still gonna do, or was this mostly our commissioner on leave want to do that? Honestly, I can't remember.
It was
Okay.
Commissioner.
Okay,
And we sometimes want to do this, but it was really a big thing for her, so I don't know.
But I think that, cause some of these don't even know the beginning, because we are doing that on our own anyway.
right.
Like, for instance, recognizing Stephen Russell,
Mhm.
and then past commissioners. And then some of these are already in our yearly programs that have been going on for decades now.
Like history month, yeah.
And then these other ones here. I don't know what's.
Yeah, so
The last one, I don't know.
To
the
your-
First one,
Go.
I think I wanted to kind of work on that one, but it's not something that I pursue.
oh, October one. Yeah, because the second bullet I get, because we have this bullet here, and so when we do our work plan recap for the council. We'll say that we honored Steve and like,
And they
yeah.
have gotten there.
yeah, so that's where we'll, yeah, so that's where I think that should stay. The second bullet, because we've done that, so then we can say like, well, this is what we did based on that bullet. So I guess what I'm asking is,
And then the third one is already. And that's just something.
right, yeah, we do it. So I guess what I'm asking is, are these things that if they're not established locally, is it something? Was the idea that we wanna like make sure they're recognized locally too? I don't know, I'm asking. Is that the point of these, like, oh, we wanna, it's World Art Day, we wanna make sure that it's recognized by Seaside. I don't know that we need to do that, I'm just wondering. Like I said, the second bullet I get, because we did that already this year, so we have something to report on, but I don't know what we're working on towards the other bullets. Does that is what I said makes sense? I don't know. Yeah. So if we're going to submit stuff to city council, I'm just wondering if we're actively working on any of these things, like besides the second bullet, or have plans to in the future. Like, if there's something we're going to ask city council to do about these dates.
And like the first one, I don't know. What is that?
I mean, Yeah, is that already,
So it's.
I mean, if these are already recognized months or days.
Yeah.
In somewhere else in the country or the state.
Because like.
Yeah.
Our day is just one day. April, and April. we have to do art.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with taking them off. I think they should be more,
It's already included. in the-
yeah. Yeah, because like Black History Month is really, it's answered in the first bullet under the work plan about Black History Month exhibit. Like that's what we do on an annual basis as a commission and for arts in the city. So
So I don't like, I don't.
yeah, I think we can leave the second bullet, like I said, because that's something we've done. And then if we do others throughout the course of the year, we would just add those to like our results at the end of the year.
But it just say retired art institutions. So that's cool. I mean, it's not like, you know, retired is like.
Well, that's what it's just for this year, but it's just for this year. I guess, because we said we wanted to do it. So the work plan is like, it's like, this is our goal. We said our goal was to do proclamations. And so we did do that this year. So it's just for this year.
Again, it was one commissioner.
Oh.
It's not, the goal of the commission. We do proclamations on a. I would say as needed basis.
Okay. That's fine. I'm fine taking this out. I just don't want to forget what we did, I guess.
No.
Yeah,
Not at all, no.
yeah. Okay, so if we can, when we do our annual recap, I'm fine taking this section out, honestly. I just wanted to have the conversation
Yeah,
about it to make
alright.
sure we agree. Okay, I'm not arguing for it. I just want to be clear. Okay, are you good with that? Okay, cool. So I think we just take that off as long as we remember what we did do
Yes.
for our recap. And then, because I'll probably forget, just to be transparent. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because yeah. So if we can put on the next agenda, since we had this discussion, so we can vote on our changes. But this is why we wanted to have the discussion, correct? And this is why I tabled it. I wanted to table it so people could look at the work plan and we can talk about it without having an extended meeting.
Just to confirm, so we'll,
So the motion, so I need to make a motion.
well, we don't have to do anything.
Okay.
We're just discussing, but I think for the next agenda, we'll have to talk about tabling the following items, the poetry section,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And then the CCMB.
Yep.
And then.
Or
the-
collaborate with MPC.
Correct. Or
Those,
seriously, The
first two.
voices, right?
what's that?
I thought we were gonna table or the CCMB section.
Yeah, the first two bullets.
Oh, first two bullets.
Well, the first bullet, because we can't do anything, because our papers are,
Well, they could,
Yeah.
they could
Yeah,
contact
yeah.
Sarah. You never know.
yeah.
That's the weird one. Yeah,
yeah,
Could still have.
so
yeah.
we could leave it and then note at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah,
could,
because if
So,
the
yeah,
rare
let's-
chance we do get them, it would be nice to have it still. on there.
right, okay, so that makes sense to me. Okay, so we'll vote on all of these things
And then art and history projects.
next
correct.
meeting. Yeah, yeah, okay, great. Okay, I can do that. I have but can I get all I have is the PDF that you submitted. Yeah, if you send me, that'd be great, thank you, and I'm happy to edit it. And make notes, I'll make copious notes. All right, cool. So that, I think that's the end of that. Does anyone want to add anything before we move on? We good? All right, let's move on. To item 7, commissioner reports. Does anybody have anything to report?
I just have one thing, and I thank you, Sarah, for duplicating this for me. I got to see on the very last page of your agenda. She did it today because I realized my printer was not working. Anyway, there is going to be another exhibition of the Weston Collective project that highlights seaside businesses, and so I guess it actually happens after the week of our next meeting, so I could have waited, but I just wanted everybody to be aware that it's gonna happen. And he lists what businesses are involved in this year, so. And he says, the only difference from the last year was that this year, the students themselves, the 5th and 6th grade students, are taking the photographs. They're going out with them to interview the owners of the businesses, and then the kids take the photos. So anyway, just that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. No, that's cool. I'm glad we know now, not like right before. Yeah. All right. Any other commissioner reports?
I went to the for the art, Seaside is part of the artist tour. So I went this past weekend, saw Sandra, Michael and Jim, and looking forward to this weekend to seeing other artists that are also involved. Yes, both days, Saturday and Sunday, and from 11 to 5, I believe.
Thank you. You have anything? All right. Those are our commissioner reports. Thank you both. And now let's move on to staff reports.
For me, no reports, but the 31st is the conclusion of our fire station mural application window. We have around, I believe, 4 applications. I will try and communicate to you all of trying having a brief meeting with fire. I don't know if I can have the whole commission attend, this it'll happen before the agenda or our next commission meeting. But kind of a discussion of reviewing the applications. So I'll be communicating with you guys soon. I need maybe one person who can attend. Of course, you guys will all have eyes on the applications, but to have someone discuss from the commission with fire, what do we think? What looks good? What's yay, nay, whatever, all that. So that'll be coming to me shortly.
Yeah, that sounds good. So when do you think? So just so I understand the process, this is just for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if this helps everybody else, great. So the RFP closes the end of the
31st.
month. And then when do you think you'll send the applications to us for review?
As soon as it's over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have a meeting to discuss the RFPs with the fire department. And so when we will have their input
Correct.
before we discuss. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in contact with Chief Gutierrez. She wants to meet and discuss what's going on as far as what we're getting. But you know, she was suggesting the 8th, which is the same day as our commission meeting. I was like, so she was like, we do midday. So I was like, I can see. So that's kind of what I'll be emailing you guys if anyone can attend during the day on November 8th.
Great.
That which works for her.
Right.
But
It works for me if we have their I was speaking for myself. I don't mean to speak for him, but it works for me if we just have their consolidated feedback.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they want to talk to one of us,
They do,
we'll try to
absolutely.
accommodate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
So how many do you have up to this point? Can you just state that or?
At least 3, maybe 4. Yeah.
Oh,
Question. The picture that we've been looking at, back page 7 of the fire station wall, is that the same wall that the mural was on before?
I don't think it was. I think it was taller.
No, I think
Wasn't
it's the
it?
same one.
Is it the same one?
I walk by it all. I think it's the same one.
I thought it was taller.
No, it's the same one, but it only took up
Yeah.
like the left
Oh,
part.
yeah, it only
Not
took
the
up
whole wall.
Part of the wall.
Yeah. They just painted over it.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Take up that whole long wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is it's a little deceiving because he is on a ladder. So it is quite tall.
Okay.
It just doesn't look like that in the photo. I
Okay.
think the trees also throw it off.
So I meant, it doesn't take the length of that wall from the edge of it at the beginning of the edge of the page, all the way back to where that shadow is, and the tree is probably further than the mural is gonna go. I don't believe the mural goes as far across as the.
I don't
tree.
believe it did previously,
It
yeah.
didn't previously, but I don't know how far it's supposed to go this time. I'm trying to get a visual in my mind, and I don't think the trees are gonna be an
But
issue.
it is
if it doesn't
measured
go
in
that
the RFP. So.
Yeah,
What they're proposing, how long it's gonna be.
Yeah.
They're not-
far. Okay.
So they have the dimensions.
but I thought that, when we met, when they came to our meeting, I thought that one of them said that it was gonna take up the whole wall this time. I mean, that was my understanding.
our, I think it says 9 feet tall and 35 feet wide. And that is
That seems
about
like the
up to
old
the
one.
tree.
Yeah,
It's, yeah. I,
All right.
yeah.
It'll be fine.
That's why.
All right.
Have a very good sense of space.
All right, thanks, Deanna. Anything else? All right. Yeah, I meant for you, but yeah, any other?
Can I ask one more question? So on the 8th at our meeting, is that when we're going to discuss the
Well, we're-
proposals or?
Yeah, we'll review the proposals. with you
Okay.
now. Yeah.
All right,
But we won't have to vote that day. Yeah, we'll just kind of talk them over. And then I think we can,
We can see what happens in the meeting
Yeah.
and see as far as, if we get more, if it's, say, if there's really one that sticks or whatever, right? We can see what both sides are kind of agreeing to, and then we can have one of the commissioners reports on the evening's
to the
meeting.
council. Do we have to-
Our commission meeting.
Yeah.
Which I think is on the 8th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Great. And then do we have to, just so I'm clear, do we have to give our recommendation to council during the meeting, or you staff can just? submit it
I
based on-
believe the schedule for the recommendation to council is gonna be in December. I think the second meeting in December. So there's some time for us to work with fire. Hey, we're gonna go with this one or.
Great,
Yeah.
and then we, all right,
Yeah.
perfect.
They're gonna have a second meeting in December.
I believe so. City council.
They just have one. Usually they do.
I was understanding they have 2. I know they can cancel it if need be, if it's getting near and closer to a holiday. But I think it might be the second one in the RFP. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Sandra? You have any?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's hear it.
I always have some.
I'm glad. Always look forward to it. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, thank you.
I can be loud. Is it? So I guess I just have to speak into it. That's the way you do things. Anyway, the thing that's concerning me is that and I know this is way up ahead, but for Black History Month, we've been trying to move the program that the NAACP and the sororities plan and promote and have at City Hall traditionally. We've been trying to get them to move to Oldemeyer because it's outgrown City Hall. But that was before the pandemic. And I just thought about that. We might not have enough people to fill the Oldemeyer or even make it worthwhile moving it there. And if we do decide to have it at Oldemeyer, then we need to have a separate reception for the artists at City Hall. So that's something that needs to be ironed out between now and the end of December for sure. About whether we're gonna have the program at Oldemeyer or at Seaside City Hall. And I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about it and I wanted your input on it. So be thinking about it and let me know at the next meeting what you think about it. It's always been, I mean, we've had people standing room only, a fire hazard, too much food. It's just become outgrowing this area, this space. But since the pandemic, all the receptions have been very poorly attended compared to before. Even the ones that were pretty good didn't have as many people as before. So I'm just wondering if we can justify keeping it here one more year, just to see if it has a big crowd like it always has, or just go ahead and bite the bullet, do it at Oldemeyer. So that's the biggest thing on my mind right now. Though Oaxaca by the Sea event was really, really well attended and everybody seemed to enjoy it. They liked the art exhibit. I'm happy with that. The artist healing at City Hall that you all got a chance to see today for sure. Which is one reason why I like having the meetings here, because it makes sure that you get to see the exhibit more than once even.
The Herald did a nice
Yes.
article on the program too. I saw that.
Yeah, they did it on art as healing, but not this exhibit.
Oh, not the.
Did you
Ah,
read the article?
I thought I did, but they didn't do it on the exhibit, but they did on the program.
They did it on
Yeah.
the program, and the program is changing. It's getting, they're not using Linda Evern, who did this retrospective exhibit. They're using another artist, and looks like it's gonna be Zoom mostly. It's not gonna be an in-person type thing, at least to begin with. So it's completely changed, and I don't know what the art that they're gonna come up with, but the pictures that they show look very good. It won't be, well, so far it's not big murals like they have here. But this is 8 years of artwork that you're looking at in this exhibit. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that evolves and whether they involve Linda Evern again or not. There's some interesting things developing between her and the art council. That's all we can say. The fall art competition, we're starting to get, I hope, people registering. Probably slow it's always slow at the beginning. It's always a leap of faith for everything when you have people registering in advance. But it still makes everything so much better when we have it all pre-registered. We know what we're getting, we know where to put it, we know we have the labels already ready, and everything goes smoothly when we have the artists registered. And did you have anything to say about that?
Just we have 10 registrations already.
10? It's not bad.
That's not bad for how it is.
Yeah.
And I had another person call me today, saying I mailed in my application. And I was like, sure, I did, but if you got the mail. No, I got it.
Well, if people can come in and get, did we make a form that we said that we would?
Hard copy, I can agree.
If anyone comes in wanting a hard copy, I can very easily, just be like, no problem here. So I don't have any printed out, but it's not a challenge to print them out, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I think 10's really good. Yeah.
Want to encourage any artists listening out there to get your computer on and register so that we can have a wonderful exhibit like we've had in years past. The Seaside Artists Association is the group that's on display here for the Monterey County Artists Studio Tour. And we have one more weekend with that, and it's gonna be Gail Tier and Leslie DeLuca and another artist. I think her name is Melanie, but I don't know her last name. And it's 3 artists, just like we had this past weekend, which gives everybody a very nice space to display their art. I hope that you can come out, and if you're listening or out there, I hope that you can come in and see the art and visit with the artists and see what they have to say about how they create their beautiful artwork. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you. Sarah, she's trying to hand you one. Thanks, Andrew. Anything else, Sarah? All right, all right. I think that's everything then. Thank you, staff. If that's all, I think we can adjourn. Everybody, any final questions or comments before we adjourn? All right, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. I'll see you for our next meeting is a special meeting, right? Yeah, another special meeting, not our quarterly meeting. Yeah. That's, next one's our regular meeting, all right? All right, great. Well, thank you all. Yep, great. Yep.